Hi America, and welcome back. I am here today doing a couple of videos here and there. My husband's doing some artwork at the shop, and I am here to do my videos and taking a break from gardening and all that stuff. It's very hot and humid where I'm at, and we've been having a lot of storms lately, so for the past few days. Today I want to talk about aging in America. I am not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I'm not a physician of any kind. I'm just talking about people that just age. And as we all get older, it's something we all have to come to realization that we need to take care of ourselves a little bit better. Now, if you like my videos, please click like, subscribe, leave a message. And, I'd appreciate it. Leave messages on topics you would like me to discuss and talk to you about, because I'm an old person here, and I've gone through a lot in my life from my burn injuries, but I also know what it's like to grow old, and because I'm living it now. My husband and I both are. One of the things that people don't realize that as you get older, your mind doesn't process the way it once used to. And what I mean by that is that your mind will sometimes tell you, yes, you can do this, but your body is telling you, no, you can't. And I know my husband has a small hernia starting, and they told him to stop lifting things. And I've told him this for years, to stop. I said, you're not getting any younger. You can't keep lifting all these things. And you're not a kid. We can pay somebody a few dollars to lift something and do the work for us. And he still thinks he should do it. And I'm telling him, I said, listen, you're old. We're old. Both of us are old. I can't do what I used to do any longer. My gardening is really the last thing I really enjoy doing. But you just have to learn to accept aging. And I know some people just have a hard time. They want to live forever. I hate to break the news to you people. No one lives forever. No one. The only way you can is through your children and grandchildren. And sadly, their day comes to an end as well when they get old. But growing old in America has become an extremely big challenge. And there are a lot of programs out there for senior citizens. And I know there are some grumpy and grouchy and old people that I just cannot be around. They are just horrible, horrible, mean people because they got old and they don't like it. They want to stay young. It's just not going to happen. My mom told me we are born, we live, and we all die. Just make the most out of the middle part of it, the living part. And that's what you do. You enjoy your life until you reach that certain age where you realize, I can't go skiing, I can't go skydiving, I can't run up and down a flight of steps or bicycle 20 miles a day, which I used to do. I can't do it any longer. I miss it, but I have to accept it. Now, I've been around people in California, and I've taken care of some of them in California that were old and very bitter because they knew they were dying. And they also knew that they're not going to see the future that everyone else will be seeing. One gentleman in particular, he was so bitter he wanted the blinds closed. He didn't even want to look at people. He didn't want people around him. He was very bitter. He hated seeing the youth around him what he once had. I love it. I just love watching the little kids jump up and down on trampolines and run and play, and the games that I used to play. It just brings back all those great memories. And that's how we all should look at it. All these young kids out there playing and doing things in the parks and in their yards and riding their bicycles. That's what we used to do. We should take joy and pleasure in seeing that they're doing it now, and giving us those memories back. Growing old is not a bad thing. It's just a part of life. We all get wrinkly. We get weak. We get aches and pains, and we moan and groan, and we ache and creak and crack. Oh, I have to go to see a chiropractor about every 3 weeks. My husband goes with me. We both see them, and we need the help. It helps us. He takes some of his friends. They make him the happy brownies and happy cookies and stuff for him to eat, because he has more aches and pains than I do. And he needs something to help his body relax. And the last gentleman that he and I both actually took care of and helped, he had trouble transitioning. A lot of trouble. And God bless his soul. He was old. He had kidney failure. He was on dialysis. And that dialysis center was his lifeline. Without it, he was no more. And he went through that for over a year, and he finally said no more. He said it was his time. And it hurt. And one morning, he was yelling for me, and he was asking me to take him to the hospital. And my husband and I, we got up, got dressed, got him in the car, and we got him to the hospital. And the physician came in, and they started questioning him. And I was there since I had power of attorney. And they were asking him questions, and he was talking to his dog next to him that wasn't there. And I knew. As the physicians were talking to him about his date of birth, what year we're in and stuff, and he was getting things confused. He didn't know. And they had started an IV in him and gave him just a little bit of morphine, just a little bit. It was the first time I had seen him sleep in such comfort. He was relaxed. His brain was relaxed. And just a couple of hours afterwards, he passed on. the morphine that he gave him helped him. I told my husband if I become gravely ill, it's my time to go. And he said the same thing. I don't want to live a painful life and being kept alive and worrying about bills to keep myself alive. That's not living for me. And it's not living for my husband either. If we're just bedridden, that's not living. I'm not saying that everybody would feel the same way as I feel or my husband. We talk about it, and you should talk about it to your children, your husband, your family members, your friends, and let them know how you feel. I don't ever want to be an invalid laying in a bed connected to IVs, just being kept alive. And for what? For insurance companies? No, I don't need that. I'd rather have a nice peaceful sleep and move into my next life. Now, the hardest part for me about growing old is if my husband dies before me, I keep thinking how it would destroy me. Because he's all I have now. How I will miss him so terribly if he passed away before me. I get up every morning and I make him breakfast. I make his lunch. I make his dinner. I clean his clothes. We go to bed together. And it would just be so hard for me to see him leave me. And I know it would be hard for him if I passed away before he does. Because I am more computer literate than he is. I take care of all the bills. He doesn't understand how to do any of this stuff. He's an artist, a tattoo artist. He does other artwork too. Stained glass windows. It was hard for us to retire his business this year. But at the age of 73, we had to. I told him, I said, we can't keep going on. We have to take some time for some enjoyment for ourselves. And we do. We go for our little walks. We go to yard sales. We go shopping together. So if I passed away before he does, or if he passed away before I do, it's going to be hard on both of us, no matter what. The only thing I know is that we will be in a better place. A lot of people worry about growing old and dying. How can they afford death? How did death become a bill? Now, I'm a burn survivor. I talk to my husband. We do not have burial plots. Not a one. We are going to be cremated. We do not need a fancy schmancy funeral at a church. The last funeral I attended, they required that you buy a floral arrangement. Now it's becoming a requirement. It's sad. Even when you go into the obituaries on Google to look up if someone you knew had passed away, there's ads everywhere on those pages now. It's a business. I live a simple life. I'm not going to pretend I'm rich. I wish I were, but I'm not. I'm not going to pretend that life has been a bowl of cherries, because it's not. It's been hard, especially when I was a kid and burned, severely burned. I never thought I would find someone to love me. And I did. And I love him just as much. And he's had a hard life too. And he's told me a lot of his stories growing up. And the one thing I see to it every day and every night before going to sleep, I tell him I love him. Because I don't think he got a lot of that growing up. And it hurts to know that. But he is a beautiful man. Very sweet and gentle. And I see it in his eyes and his body that he's gotten old, just as I have. It's not a bad thing growing old, because as you get older, then you start rethinking things. What are you going to do if you do pass away? How are you going to take care of this and this and this? You don't want to leave any bills to be handed down to your kids or grandkids, because that's what creditors are doing now. They're coming after your relatives to pay off your debts. If we use a credit card, which we don't often, but if we do, we pay it off as soon as we can, because we don't want to leave any debt to anyone. So, and one thing is, as we get older, if you have jewelry of any kind, before you pass away, give it to your children. Let them enjoy it, and you get to watch them enjoy it before you pass away. And remember, passing away is not a bad thing, because it happens to all of us. We are born, we live, we die. God bless you all.